we've got two interesting conversations lined up for you on this edition of The Last Word. First up, should the Election Commission match more of VVPATs with EVMs? Sounds complicated, sounds a little boring and dry, but it's very, very important in the run-up to this election season. Now, the Election Commission, after the insistence of the top court, said, okay, we will have electronic voting machines, and then we will have the VVPATs, the paper trail machines, attached to all of the EVMs in this election. 100% of EVMs should have VVPATs, and that's what the Election Commission is trying to do. But here's the interesting aspect, voters. That doesn't mean that they are going to cross-verify what the EVM is registering versus what the paper trail is showing. The idea is to say that if there is a malfunction within the electronic voting machine, if in any way it has been tampered with or if it has generated an error, when you match what it is recording with the paper trail, then you will know whether or not the right results are being recorded. But what's the point of it all if only 1% of sampling is done, if only 1% of VVPAT slips are actually matched with what the EVM machines are recording? That's the larger question. So most of the non-BJP rival big national parties, about 21 of them, national and regional actually, got together and went to the Supreme Court. And they said, look, this is not fair. And if you have the system in place, why don't we match more of these VVPAT slips? Why don't we assure the citizens, assure the candidates more about the reliability of these EVMs? Match 50%, said the political parties. What did the Election Commission say? Well, like always, they were a bit hesitant about it. They were hesitant to bring in VVPATs for all EVMs. Now they say we are completely satisfied with this system. Only 1% of the machines will be checked, and that's all right. So this is what the Supreme Court told the Election Commission. Tell us if it will be better and if you can do more VVPAT slip matching with the EVMs. We would like to know if you can do it. If you can't do it, that's a different matter altogether. But we would ideally like you to increase the number of EVMs being matched with the VVPAT slips. Then, to the argument that was made by the Election Commission, why do you want to do that? Do you not trust the system? Why are these political parties casting aspersions on the Election Commission or on the EVMs, which are not hackable to begin with? The Supreme Court said it is not about aspersion, but satisfaction. And to add to that, then the CJI, the Chief Justice of our country, said no institution should insulate itself from more improvement, from introspection, even the judiciary. So why should the Election Commission be any different? So tonight, the big question that we are asking on debate number 1 is, should Election Commission match more of VVPAT slips with EVMs, satisfy the voters, ensure that there is less error margin left, and just end this debate? Let's say good evening to our panelists. Pallavi Sharma, spokesperson for the Congress Party. Mr. S.K. Mendiratta, former legal advisor to the Election Commission of India, is with us this evening. Abhishek Mishra, to represent the BJP, Major General Anil Verma, head of the Association of Democratic Reforms, ADR, also with us this evening. But I want to go across to Mr. Mendiratta first and get his legal advice on this. Mr. Mendiratta, here is the Supreme Court who is saying that even we are not above introspection and changes and, thought process. Even we are open to suggestions. So why should Election Commission be so closed about looking at this?
No, it's...
Yes.
No, actually, no, I would like to say, firstly, I would like to clarify that there was no reluctance on the part of the Election Commission to introduce VVPAT. The direction of the the Supreme Court to use the EVMs came only in 2013, whereas we had started this process in 2010 itself. We had 2 rounds of experiments which we conducted in different parts of the country, in 5 big cities, having different temperatures, different environments. And then only after when we were satisfied, we gave an assurance that we will introduce VVPATs in all the state, in all the polling stations. That is what we did, and we gave that promise. Only our difficulty was that there was some difficulty with regard to the procurement of those machines because some financial constraints were there. Then the Supreme Court came to our rescue and they said the government will provide whatever money you want, and then they gave a direction to the government of India that about 1600 crores or some money should be given to the Election Commission. At that time, because that direction came just on the eve of 2014 elections, we said it's not possible now to introduce in 2014 elections, but in 2019 elections we'll try that VVPATs are used in all constituencies, in all polling stations, and we are now, and the Election Commission is standing by that commitment. Now the question is of matching. See, there is slight confusion. You have said 1%. Actually, the existing direction of the Election Commission is that only one polling station in each assembly constituency or assembly segment of a parliamentary constituency, the EVMs score will be matched with the VVPAT score. And the political parties want this one polling station to be raised to 50% of the polling stations in the constituency. Of course, now the Supreme Court has given a clear indication that they want this particular number, which the Election Commission has fixed as one polling station, to be increased. And I am sure the Election Commission, as a responsible constitutional authority and mindful of its constitutional mandate, will consider that proposal and will come to some satisfactory, reasonable limit which they may feel appropriate. Because perhaps the reluctance on the part of the Election Commission to increase this number is that if we have to count all the VVPAT slips, then what is the purpose of the EVM? Because the elections will be delayed, results will be delayed, and so that is the only, perhaps to my knowledge, the reason. Otherwise, there is no problem. From
okay, so what do you
the
think?
Election Commission side.
Correct.
Now that the Election Commission.
So in your mind, Mr. Meniratta, because I'm just now quoting from
Yes.
what Mr. S.Y. Qureshi has written just a few days ago for an online portal, and he says that it would be ideal to perhaps have a 5% random check of VVPAT slips, and that should be enough. Obviously, the opposition parties want 50%.
Yeah, actually,
what do you think should be a good, is one machine per assembly the right amount?
Actually, no, I also agree that one polling station per assembly constituency is not adequate. It has to be increased. I may like to just tell you that there was once a decision which was not ultimately formalized. A decision was taken in-house that we may go for 5%, and that perhaps Mr. Qureshi has referred to, and I don't know why that was changed to just one polling station per constituency, but I also agree that 5% is a reasonable limit. 5% means that wide spread the sample for this matching of the VVPAT machines with the with the EVM records.
Okay.
So
all right.
Ultimately, it is for the Election Commission to take a view, and then the Supreme Court has to come also to some reasonable limit.
Okay, but the Supreme Court actually says right now, and just to clarify on the point,
and
that,
I agree with the Supreme Court. No, I agree with the Supreme Court's observation that the Election Commission should also show that its interested in reforms, and we are actually interested in reforms.
Yes, so I actually just want to clarify on that part.
Whatever we have done in the past.
Because here is what the Supreme Court said, which is what I was quoting earlier. And so I just wanted to clarify that part, that the Supreme Court said that if you are so confident of your systems, then why didn't you make complete VVPAT on your own? Why did you require court orders to do it if you were so confident of improving your system? And even when the court was considering it, we faced much opposition from EC, which had said that this was totally unnecessary. Yes, we ordered it. No, I just wanted to clarify. You, of course, say that the EC was ready to do it. They didn't have enough funds to do it back then.
Yeah, with great respect. No, with great respect, I would like to point out that there was no reluctance on the part of the Commission. We ourselves, we had a meeting with all political parties in 2010, and on the basis of that, we ourselves, because some objections were raised in 2009, then in 2010 we had a meeting, all party meeting, and there itself we decided that we will go for the VVPAT so that the people get the satisfaction. So I have explained, and there was never any reluctance. I don't know.
Okay, but Pallavi Sharma of the Congress Party, let me take this point to you. You know, irrespective of what happened then before 2014, it does look that EC is not right now willing to change the system, and that's what has even irked the Supreme Court.
Tanvi, first and foremost, with all due respect to the speaker who was speaking before me, I'm not casting any aspersions on the Election Commission, which is a constitutional body. Nevertheless, how the constitutional bodies have suffered in the last 5 years, despite that, the truth continues to remain this, that there was a categorical Supreme Court order in 2013 which said that 100% VVPATs should be made compulsory. That is, each EVM should have a VVPAT paper trail attached to it. Now, the truth is, even in 2014 elections, it was not done, like the previous speaker said, because the order came too late and they were short of funds and they couldn't do it. But even in these recent state elections that were held, even there we did not see 100% VVPAT being implemented. Now it was, now after these state elections, the Congress party along with other opposition parties had given a memorandum to the Election Commission of India saying that, sir, please allow me to finish. Sir, please allow me to finish. That's correct, sir. There was no 100% VVPAT implementation in the 5 state elections that we saw. Having said that, the Congress party...
You please check up the records.
Wrong, sir? Was there 100% VVPAT implementation?
You please check up the records.
No, no, sir, please tell me, correct me if I'm wrong. Was there 100% VVPAT implementation? It is only now that the Election Commission that has announced... So can I finish? It is only now that the Election Commission, when it announced the Lok Sabha polls, it said that there will be 100% VVPAT implementation and there will be one polling booth per constituency, one polling booth per constituency whose sample will be physically verified. Tanvi, can I be allowed to make my point?
Okay, Mr. Mendiratha, I'll come back to you if you have a correction. But let her finish your point. Mr. Mendiratha, I'll come back to you for the clarification.
Only one minute I want to say.
I'll come back to you. Let her finish your point and then I will come back to you. Yes, Pallavi.
They said only one.
All the polling stations.
Pallavi, go ahead, please. Yeah.
Okay.
They said only one polling booth per constituency. They said only one polling booth per constituency will undergo physical verification of the paper trail. The Congress party along with other opposition parties felt that this was too small a sample size. Now, if you take, for example, a constituency of Patna, for example, which has approximately 305 polling booths, to just physically verify one polling booth, what is the accuracy that you're targeting? So we said the sample size should be increased and it should come to somewhere around 50%. What is the maximum that we expect? It will not lead to extra resources. All it's going to do is delay the election result. But the question here, Tanvi, is delayed election result better than actually destroying the basic essence of democracy, which is a voter's vote? Each voter at the end of the day should be satisfied that the vote that he or she has cast has been correctly used and has gone to the candidate that he or she has voted for. We can obviously accept and a certain delay if it comes from the Election Commission, if it has to undergo 50% VVPAT physical verification. Commission. All that it's going to do is delay the result.
Okay.
That I think that should be acceptable to the BJP also, instead of destroying the basic essence of democracy.
Okay. Quickly getting a clarification, Mr. Maniratha, are you saying that the fact that there were not 100% VVPATs used in previous elections wrong?
No. What I am saying, during the last 5 general elections, VVPAT was used at each and every polling station. Though we did the matching only one polling station per constituency, but VVPATs were used in all the polling stations during the last 5 these elections. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay, let me bring in our other panelists as well. Major General Anil Verma, what is your own sense in this whole debate? One would just argue that if you have the VVPATs available, why not increase the sample size to ensure that you don't miss any malfunctioning EVMs at all?
Yeah, see, on the lighter side, I want to say that we have yet to come across a political party which has won elections and they have blamed the EVMs for it. But on a more serious note, I would say that this issue of VVPATs has been going on in the courts for some time, and like Mr. Mandiratta rightly pointed out that earlier it was a lack of funds, and then when the Supreme Court gave the directions, they got the funds and they have made the VVPATs. Now the issue is that if I am right factually, I think in a constituency on an average there are about 200 or 250 polling booths. Now if you are following a system of checking or matching the VVPAT along with the EVM only in one booth, I feel it is not enough, for the simple reason that somehow a perception has been formed amongst the political parties and in a large section of the voters also, that the EVMs are being hacked or they are malfunctioning. Whether it is true or not, I don't know. But as far as we think, I think EVMs are functioning pretty fine, because like I said, the winning party doesn't complain about it.
Yes.
The main issue, I think, why the Election Commission is reluctant is because it will increase the timing of the results. But if the people want it that way, then why not increase it? I would say that it should be increased, but 50% may be a bit too much to do for the current elections. But maybe 10 to 15% matching should be viable.
Okay, no, because the fact of the matter is, Abhishek Mishra, that there have been reports, and even EC has, in its updates during election season told us that in these many constituencies, these many EVMs had problems that were detected and they were changed. Now, there is a possibility that if you are able to detect problems in EVMs, you may also miss some malfunctioning EVMs, and then what happens? So, just to remove all kinds of doubts from the minds of people, why not simply increase the sampling database?
But Tanvi, I am shocked you are asking this question, because it is up to the Election Commission of India. Now, Honorable Supreme Court has asked Election Commission to give some details to
Are you also shocked at Supreme Court asking the question?
What can the ECI do?
Or do you just think that the common man of this country cannot ask questions?
No. I'm shocked you are asking this question.
Okay, so Supreme Court can, but the common man cannot ask any questions.
Supreme Court has given a guideline to ECI. Okay. How can a political party?
I'm not a political party. I'm just a voter.
That what Supreme Court and ECI will do?
I'm asking you for your view, not what EC will do.
How can I answer?
You don't have a view, your party doesn't have a view. Tomorrow when you are in opposition, won't you have a view?
No. The view is what...
No. Why are you shocked that I'm asking this question? Does the BJP not have a view on what percentage of EVMs should be matched with VVPATs?
You are asking a question. No, you are asking
why are you shocked
at
my question?
No, come on, you're not getting what I'm saying. You are asking a question because only the Election Commission of India can decide this.
Do you have a view on it or not?
Election Commission of India is appropriate competent authority. They will decide.
No. The Supreme Court is also a competent authority to decide on it, by the way, and the Supreme Court will probably end up deciding on it. 21 political parties have gone to the Supreme Court. I am asking for your view. And if you don't have a view, why are you on this debate?
The Supreme Court will decide along with what ECI says.
So why are you on this debate if you don't have a view, or your party doesn't have a view on this?
I don't have a view, meaning...
No.
That,
No, I'm just
Honorable
surprised.
Supreme
Why are
Court
you
has asked
asking
ECI
me?
take
Why
guidelines.
why am I
Go to
asking a
Supreme
question?
Court. Let the Supreme Court decide.
But what is the problem in me asking a question?
If you ask me what Congress has done, no, good question, Tanvi. If you ask me that what the 21 parties have gone to Supreme Court to the ECI, on that I can answer.
No,
But if you
this is
ask
not a
me
political
question
debate.
what Supreme Court has asked ECI, I cannot answer. If
I'm
you ask
asking
about
you, what
Congress,
does the
I can answer,
BJP
yes.
think? Okay, let me rephrase this if you didn't understand.
No,
I am asking you, Abhishek Mishra, what is the BJP stand on the question of what percentage of VVPAT slips should be matched with EVMs this election season?
I'll be honest to you, officially, I don't think any of our senior leaders has expressed a statement on this issue. My simple submission to you is, the Congress party, always when it loses, comes up with such excuses. So if you go on a political level, I can speak, I can answer you. That is 21 parties, when this Congress somehow won in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, they didn't doubt the EVMs. This Aam Aadmi Party didn't doubt. Whenever they lose, and now they know that they are going to lose again, they're getting this issue. I am saying this is a non-issue. The people of this country are with BJP, we are going to win.
It
now,
was
with
after these
to
elections that we submitted the memorandum to the ECI. What is he talking?
No, that's what I'm saying. You know you're going to lose the Lok Sabha. That is what I'm saying. When you win in Madhya Pradesh, then you don't doubt the EVMs. Why don't you say that in EVM manufacturing in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan? I'm saying, Pallavi, don't show hypocrisy. I'm giving a proper
after
answer
winning
that
these
what
elections,
Supreme Court
we
has
went to the
ECI will reply.
ECI.
It's up to the ECI to decide and Supreme Court to give our judgment.
Yes,
No,
Pallavi.
that's your foolishness. I'm saying, why do you doubt the electoral process? The ECI is a global.
Okay, so they're not hypocrites, they're simply fools
the
then.
whole world respects how India conducts
Pallavi,
elections.
yes.
And we have complete respect.
You know, Tanvi, your question was spot on. Actually, the hypocrisy of the BJP is this. When they are in opposition, they'll author books. They'll author books on EVM hacking and how EVMs can be hacked and how they malfunction. Once they come to power, everything is hunky-dory for them. They don't even have a view on how the democracy of this country should be made to function.
Don't divert.
They don't even have a view on that.
Pallavi Sharma, don't divert. You have gone to Supreme Court. We have not gone.
I'm not diverting. I'm on the issue.
No, don't divert the issue.
You are in your own political debate.
How can I have a view on what Supreme Court will
Please,
do?
Abhishek Mishra, no, you are just derailing the conversation. I'm sorry. You thought this is going to be a political fight between the Congress and the BJP. I am here to discuss a more important voter-related issue. Are we doing enough as a nation to ensure that the voters have complete assurance that the vote that they're punching into that machine is the vote that is actually getting recorded? If we have connected VVPATs, and I will come back to that question.
Yeah, absolutely. That is what I said.
If and let me take that question back to Major General Verma. If we have 100% VVPATs connected to EVMs, General Verma,
10 seconds,
why
please?
should we not take more steps to allay any fears that anybody should have in this country? Isn't that what this is about?
Tanvi, as I mentioned before, I don't think there is a need for 100% matching of this thing, because then the point comes that why not go back to the ballot paper? What is the point of having EVMs?
Absolutely.
That is what the Election Commission stand is. But a reasonable amount should be decided between the political parties and the Election Commission, and of course the Supreme Court will give directions. So that is why I said that maybe 10 to 15% matching should be good enough.
Yes, Pallavi, you wanted to make a point. Go ahead, please, before I wrap up this debate.
Tanvi, I would...
Yes, then I'll come to you, Mr. Mendiratta.
Tanvi, my point is, you rephrase the
add
question for the BJP spokesperson,
Yeah.
but my point is this. Why should the BJP or any political party for that matter, Tanvi, let's not make it political. It's about the democracy of this country, the constitution of this country. Why should any political party have a problem with the simple aspect that the survey, the physical verification of the VVPATs is going to be extended to a larger percentage? It only ensures more accuracy. It only ensures that the voters' vote has been cast to the candidate that he voted for.
I am saying we don't have a problem. We don't have a problem.
All
Let the Honorable Supreme Court decide.
Don't get
Pallavi
personal.
Sharma, you're a
All
lawyer.
right, all right.
Ask
Please, there is no point for unnecessary yelling, Abhishek Mishra.
Let Supreme
No
Court decide.
unnecessary yelling, please. I'm completely out of time on this debate. Mr. Mendiratta, 30 seconds to you. Just let's just listen to what Mr. Mendiratta had to say, and then we will wrap up. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
I will say, see, see whatever this mandatory requirement may be fixed by the Election Commission or the Supreme Court, I would only like to point out that there is a Rule 56 capital D in the Conduct of Elections Rules 1961, which says that if any candidate or his agent is not satisfied with the counting of votes through this EVM system, they can make a request or a representation to the returning officer, and if he is satisfied, he will direct a recount and matching of these VVPAT slips plus the result in any number of polling stations.
Okay.
But it is a question of the RO satisfaction and the reasonable ground which the complainant may have to make before the RO.
All right. Thank you so much to all of our panelists, and a point well made, Mr. Mendiratha. The fact of the matter is, if there is anything more that you can do to allay the fears or concerns of a voter or even a contesting candidate or a political party, why should we not do it? So, if there is a way, and if it is available with us, that you can check a few more VVPATs and can match few more VVPAT slips with the EVM, so that people know that what they are punching into the EVM is the vote that is going to the party or the candidate that they want. Perhaps it is time to do that. Perhaps Election Commission needs to think about it, just like the Supreme Court said. Of course, at the end of the day, Election Commission has to now go back and tell the Supreme Court what is possible physically and not possible, and then the top court will decide. But thank you so much for joining us on this debate. We move on to debate number 2.